Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Autumn.rene, and today we are actually going to be talking about potty training. So I wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update. We did start and finish potty training over this last weekend, and I'm kind of excited just to share what we did with that because I feel like it was really successful. And I feel like we have a lot of kind of handy tricks, especially if you are a boy mom or have a young toddler. So my son he just turned 2, like in July, so he's only like 2 and a few months old. So he's pretty young in terms of potty training, especially these days. So if you're interested in kind of potty training your young 2-year-old, or especially if you have a boy, definitely stay tuned. I have quite a few tips and tricks for you guys to use. We did not use like a specific method. Like I know there's like lots of different methods to use. And I think we just kind of used some different bits and pieces from different methods. And I am a working mom, so I did kind of pair with the daycare to do this as well, so that was kind of interesting. So I'm kind of just going to share my experience of like what we did and how we did it. So basically for the 2 weeks leading up to the weekend we were going to potty train, and we didn't really plan this, we just kind of did it. But those 2 weeks leading up to it, we just kind of just talked about the potty a lot, and my son was already showing a lot of interest in it. And I would say that's like step number 1, like try to get your child, or watch for your child to see if like they have signs of readiness, and that's just like interest in the potty, like interested in flushing, or like watching you, or seeing the potty or going potty, able to take their pants on and off, being able to bladder control is a huge thing. So like seeing if they have like dry diapers after nap time, or if maybe if they're not peeing in their diapers often. And just really just general interest in it. So any of those readiness signs are great. Your child doesn't necessarily have to show every single readiness sign, but I will say the bladder control one I think is the most important. Like that and child interest would be like the 2 most important, I would say. And the bladder control, the reason I say that is because I tried to potty train last spring when my son was only 18 months old. Like I wanted to be one of those people that like had my kid potty trained before he was 2. I was ready to be done with diapers. Like I was really committed. And like we were home for COVID, so I was like, I'm just gonna like potty train. And it was awful. Oh my gosh. My son peed like every 5 minutes, like constant. He didn't have any kind of bladder control at all. Like he couldn't even hold it 5 minutes. Like it was just pee all day long. It was awful, awful, awful. So I do not recommend that at all. I definitely recommend until your child is able to like know that they're feeling and know that they're holding it. And I think the best sign of that, like I said, is like seeing dry diapers. Either like after nap time or like after a pretty extended period of time, like knowing that they can hold it like at least 30 minutes or 45 minutes. I would say definitely wait for that sign. So do not be me. Do not try to potty train too early and have them not wait. Obviously, there are babies that potty train super, super early, like at 12 months old. So I'm not saying it's not possible to do that, but for me, I would definitely recommend waiting until you like see signs of that bladder control. And that can happen at all different ages for kids. And then like the next thing I said is just like child interest, like having your kid kind of want to learn to use the potty obviously makes it easier. It's not necessary, but definitely easier. So that's like my first tip, is just to like see those signs of readiness and kind of use that as like your starting point. Back to what I was saying though, leading up to the weekend of potty training, we started with just kind of like letting him be interested in the potty, letting him go potty when he wanted to. Like sometimes we'd just be like, you want to go potty? And he'd be like, yeah. And then we'd go and sit on the potty. So we weren't like hardcore doing it, but just kind of like getting him interested in it, getting him acquainted with going potty. And then we also went ahead and told his daycare we were interested in started potty training. So then they were kind of doing the same thing at the daycare, like kind of just taking him to go potty and like letting him do that. So we kind of partnered with his daycare doing that and just kind of got him interested in it. And then I think, so by the time we were doing like the actual like weekend potty training, he was already doing pretty good. I mean, I'm sure I'm biased, but I feel like Darian is pretty smart, and he, picks up things pretty quickly and was already really interested in it. So I feel like he already had pretty good grasp on like what going potty was, how people go potty. He already was able to take his pants on and off. So he was already doing really, really good before we even officially like started. But we had a long weekend that weekend. So we had the Saturday and Sunday and Monday off. So we were able to just like commit those 3 days to potty training, because we wanted to kind of do like 3 days of potty training, which I guess that's kind of a method, but I don't know. So the first day, people say to potty train completely naked the first day. Like that's like one of the methods that people like recommend, is like just keep your child naked the whole day. And for me, I feel like the purpose of that is to like let your child like understand that they're going, and like, but for me, like I already knew, like my son already like had that. Like my son was already realizing that he had to go, and he was already like doing really well with that. So for us, we just kind of went straight to underwear. We weren't wearing pants or anything because that was just kind of extra hassle, but we just went straight to underwear so that he was already used to wearing it. He did have a couple accidents the first day. I think that the benefit of not having underwear on is, I think especially, like, I think okay, here I am talking so much. I think if you are not wearing underwear, you have more of a likelihood that your child will have a pee accident without you knowing. That was my main concern. I was afraid that he was going to pee somewhere, and because he wasn't wearing underwear, I wasn't going to know it. Because like if they're wearing underwear, you can see that like it got wet and he peed somewhere. But the benefit of not wearing underwear, apart from your child kind of like starting to like learn that they're going, is also with poop. Like I think, if they're not wearing underwear, there's nowhere for that poop to go. And I think kids kind of have that natural like sense of like, this needs to go somewhere. So I think that part helps. So we did have a couple poop accidents. We had 2, and that, of course was gross, but I feel like 2 out of the entirety of potty training isn't so bad. So we did go straight to underwear, just like one less transition to make. And like I said, I feel like my son already made that connection of like, I need to go. So I didn't feel like we needed to start, like I feel like we could kind of start a step ahead because of like the 2 weeks we had done prior. So we just started with straight underwear. We got him like the really thin kind of underwear. That's like my next tip. I would not get like the thick, I forget what they call it, but like not pull-ups, but just like the really thick underwear that's like more absorbent. Don't get that, because then it feels too much like a diaper and they feel like they can go in it. Like just get like the super thin, like Carter's or Target brand, like cotton underwear that's like super thin. So that way it doesn't feel like a diaper and they don't feel like they have to go in it. At least that's like, I feel like worked for my son. And get a bunch, get like way more than you think you need. Like I would get like, I don't even know, like 30 pair or something. Like you want like at least multiple per each day that you're at your house. And then if your kid goes to daycare, you need some for that too. And then you want to keep some in your car and in your diaper bag. Like just underwear everywhere. Like just get a lot of underwear. Trust me, it's worth it. You go through it, especially when you're potty training. Like we actually had to do laundry because we went through all of his pairs of underwear. So just definitely like get a lot of underwear is my recommendation. So we started with underwear, and we started just taking him every 30 minutes when he had to go. And I got that from 2 things. One, I used to be a nanny, and that's how I potty trained one of the nanny girls that I used to nanny. And then 2, that's also how the daycare was doing it. And I think that's really important. If your child's in daycare, I think you should definitely partner with them and kind of do what they're doing or have them do what you're doing. Definitely like, so your kid makes that connection. And kind of following along with that, we didn't really do a reward system too much. Like I know some people like give their kids M&Ms or something. We definitely didn't do anything like that. But we did do a sticker when he went, if he asked for it and wanted one, just because his school was doing that. And I wanted to make that connection and like keep up with what the school was doing. So I did go ahead and like just give him a sticker. And stickers are nice because, they're cheap and they're not like a food thing, and they're easy to kind of just take away and like not kind of get away from it. So that was like a quick little easy thing that we didn't really put a lot of thought into. We just kind of put a sticker on his arm. We didn't have a chart or anything like that. So I definitely think simple is better with that. I think making an elaborate reward system might work in the moment, but I think you're going to regret it later on when your child's potty trained and they're expecting an M&M and a sticker chart every time they go to the potty. So I'm kind of not against, but I would discourage from using like a elaborate reward system, I guess is what I would say. But anyway, so we took him every 30 minutes. He had to go. If your child is like seeming like they need to go more than that, then you can like shorten that to 5 or 15 or whatever minutes. But he was already doing really well at the 30 minutes. And then as he was doing well, like we just gradually increased. Honestly, by the end of the day, he was going more like every hour. And like I said, he's pretty bright. And because we had been talking about the potty for several weeks prior to, I think he just picked it up really quickly. Because by the end of that day, we weren't really reminding him. He was already just telling us like mommy, potty, or pee, or poop. He would just say one of those 3 words and we would take it and he would go. Now, obviously, in the beginning of potty training, there's going to be accidents. We didn't have too many, but most of the accidents happened like we weren't able to get to the potty fast enough or get our pants off fast enough. And we wouldn't make a big deal out of it. Like that's another thing. Like you definitely don't want to shame your child for learning how to use the restroom. So if they have an accident, just be like, oh, pee goes in the potty, and just leave it at that. Getting really frustrated or mad at them, is not going to build a positive relationship with you or potty training. So I definitely would not recommend that. So yeah, basically we just did that when he had an accident. We were just like, oh, pee or poop goes in the potty, and that's that. And yeah, so that's really what we did for potty training. And then by the next day, he really was just reminding us when he had to go. We are still using diapers during nap time and like at night. And I don't think we will probably try to nighttime potty train for a while. There's definitely people who want to do that like at the same time that they're doing the other potty training, and I think that that's fine. I think just for me, it's just like something I don't really want to worry about till he's a little bit older. So we're not doing that. But I will say that now that he's potty trained, which I think potty training went really, really easy and fast for him, and I think the reason was because he was really ready and he was showing those signs of readiness, and we kind of gradually built into it. And we did not do one of those like kid potties. We just like put a stool and like a little like smaller kid potty seat on top of it. And that's really all we had in the bathroom. And we also kept some extra wipes in there and like potty books in there for him. So we read a few books about pottying, and I'll link those below because I think there's some pretty good books about that. One of them's called Diapers Are Not Forever, and the other one's like a boy potty training book. And I think they have a girl one too. So if you have a girl, you can definitely use that. So with boys specifically, this is like boys specific stuff. So if you have a girl, you can just ignore this part. But if you have a boy, we chose to potty train him sitting down. Obviously boys can be standing up too, but we chose to potty train sitting down just because he wasn't very tall and he really just couldn't like aim or reach that far yet. So I think we'll just, teach him to stand up, pottying standing up when he gets a little bit older, I guess. Sorry if this video is like super just chill. I'm just kind of like telling you guys like what's up. So yeah, that's what we did for him. It went really nice. The only thing that I really did not foresee, I guess, was I'm terrified to go anywhere now, because even though he's potty trained and will tell me when he has to go, like when he has to go, he has to go. Like I'm afraid that like if we were out somewhere, he wouldn't make it to the bathroom in time. Like he would be able to tell me that he has to go, but I don't think we would make it to a stall like fast enough before he would have an accident. So that part is a little bit like unnerving, like just, once you first potty train, like I think it just takes a while for them to be able to hold it long enough to be able to do things like that. So like going to the park or going on a car ride, like all of that's kind of like, oh my gosh, what if they like have an accident? But I kind of reached out and asked some people that I knew and respected about that, and they gave me some great advice. So I actually have a few products I'm going to show you guys that have to do with this. And this is like not a sponsored video or anything like that. This is just like stuff that I got that I think is going to be helpful for my family. So if you're interested in seeing that, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys some of the products that we're using now that kind of post potty training. Okay, so the first product I want to show you guys, and probably like the most important product, is like this portable urinal. And again, they actually make ones for girls for this too. So if you have a girl and you're interested in something like this, you can get that too. And I've heard a couple different like solutions for this. Some people will keep like a portable like little potty in their car. So if you're interested in that, you can keep like a little kid's potty in your car. But the reason I liked this was, one, it's really small. So like we could easily take this hiking or something, or keep it in my diaper bag. And then two, it's like sealed and can't spill. Like I don't know, maybe somebody can enlighten me here, but I feel like if I had a kid's travel potty in my car and my kid used it, like what am I going to do with the pee? Like, am I just going to like throw it out in a parking lot? Like, I don't know, like that just seems a little bit weird to me. So I liked this because it keeps it contained. So basically, like I said, this is just like a little portable urinal, and it locks shut, so it's not like easily spilled. It's like spill proof or whatever, obviously. And when you open it, it just has like this little plug in there, and that's like on like line it says it's like a odor plug, so like you can't smell it and it like won't spill. So if I take that plug out, you can see it's just like a little hole, and so I guess you guys can kind of know what they do, but they obviously put their boy parts in there and pee. So it is pretty large, so I think if you needed to, you probably could have your kid use this 2 or 3 times maybe. I haven't actually had to use it yet, so I will keep you guys updated if I have to use it, but it just gives me peace of mind because it's just something I can have like in my car, in my diaper bag. So if we're at a park or we're hiking or we're on a car trip and my kid needs to go, like I have somewhere he can go like that. So I just like this, and like, obviously once he's done, you put the plug in there and just close it. And then, like I said, it's watertight, so then I can just dispose of this when I get home, like in the toilet, and I don't have to worry about any of that kind of stuff. Obviously, this is only for pee. For poop, that would be a different situation, but I don't know, I worry a little bit less about poop because, one, I feel like he could hold it longer, and two, if he did have a poop accident, I feel like it's contained a little bit more in the underwear than pee would be. Like pee would be everywhere. So I don't know, I'm less worried about that than I am about this. So this to me is like just kind of is giving me more confidence to go out places. So I'm just glad to have this. Obviously, you would not use this like in a grocery store or like a public place like that. But if you were just like in a car trip or hiking or something, it's a nice alternative. So if you're interested in that, I will leave it linked below. The other thing that I did to kind of get myself more confidence like going out after potty training was I made these little like bags, and I made one for both me and Ryan's car, and then I also have one in my diaper bag. And it basically has 2 pairs of pants, 2 pairs of underwear, and then also an emergency diaper. And then the other thing I put in here is these Can-Do flushable wipes. And I'm just gonna talk a few minutes about these Can-Do flushable wipes, because when I was a nanny, the people I worked for, they had these after I potty trained their oldest toddler, and I remember being like, how ridiculous to buy wipes after your child's potty trained. Like, isn't that the point of potty training? You have to buy wipes and diapers anymore, and you can just use toilet paper. And I remember thinking it was ridiculous. And even as a nanny, I thought it was ridiculous. But now that I am a mom, I'm totally wanting these, because I don't know, my child, like, he has really messy poops, and I just don't feel like toilet paper gets him clean enough. And I was using regular wipes in there, but then I would wipe him and be like, where do I put this wipe? Because you can't flush it. And like, I didn't want to put like a poopy wipe in like just like the regular trash can. So it kind of gave me this weird spot. So, but I found these, and these are flushable. So that kind of fixed my thing. So I have these like little flushable wipes in all of these bags too. So that's kind of just another tip or trick if you were interested in that. So yeah, that is all the stuff I got for potty training. Like I said, just this and like the bag. This is just giving me more confidence to kind of go out. That's better. I can see you guys. Anyway, so yeah, that just kind of gave me more confidence to go out after potty training. That was kind of something I didn't really expect going into potty training, was kind of like the after fact. Like, after they can potty train, like, then what? Because it's not like you're an adult and you can just like hold it for a longer time. You know, they're still younger kids. So it definitely changes your life a little bit. But, you know, not having to buy diapers and like, you know, giving your kid that independence is obviously really good. So I'm glad that we did it, and I feel like this time was way more of a success than the first time. So I definitely like recommend waiting until they're able to like hold it longer and they're interested in it. But yeah, so that's really what we used. We didn't do anything like super like amazing or anything, but I definitely think these products helped, and just kind of our attitudes and just like what we went through. So I hope this was helpful for anybody who's thinking about potty training their young toddler or a young boy. And if you have any tips like that you think would be great for other parents, definitely leave them in the comments below, because I love for all my videos to be like resources for people. And if you would like to see more videos on parenting, if you didn't know, my son's adopted, so if you're interested in foster care, adoption, parenting, anything like that, I make tons of videos on that on my channel, and I would love to have you join and subscribe. This video was pretty casual and chill, but anyway, I hope you guys enjoy and have a great rest of your day.